Game on once again. I'm running with Skithiryx again. This time I'm up against Sharala000, wielding Thraximunder. Grixis commander that's pretty solid, actually. This guy's quite good in budget in particular. Don't see him a great deal. I guess 7 mana in general is pretty pricey. And in Grixis, I guess a lot of people tend to play Storm decks with Jaliva. You don't see too many other Grixis commanders. There's probably one or two that I'm not thinking of right now, but Jaliva is the one you tend to see the most, not Thrax himself. I'm using the Skithiryx, and I've got a very good hand right here. Ability to go Mana Vault into Coalition Relic gives us 3 mana on turn 2, and have a perfect play of Lilliana of the Veil, which is a kind of card that gives decks like Thraximunder a huge headache. If they don't have one of the narrow answers that Black-Red has to deal with Planeswalkers, either Hero's Downfall or Dreadbore, Planeswalkers tend to kind of run amok. And this game is no exception to that rule, as you will see. Alright, well, turn 1, going first. Certainly going to vault into Coalition Relic. Love that play, either off a Workshop or off the Mana Vault. So good. This artifact is so incredible if you play it on turn 1. Island done. Alright. Charge. I also have a hand that's very poor against Thraximunder in general, so the Lilliana is just all that much better in the sense that I can discard tons of stuff, guilt-free. Alright, we can even keep our Coalition Relic untapped. Alright, discard, certainly the 4 mana deal 1 card. That's going to go into the graveyard. He throws away a swamp. Lilliana already doing work. He's got Brainstorm end of turn. And nothing. Charge. Hopefully I'm hoping to just draw another land here and probably just run the Skithiryx out right now, even if you could counter it, just to beat his hand down a little faster. I draw a relatively useless Pithing Needle. So I'm going to discard first. Pithing Needle goes away, and he discards Control Magic. Another awesome answer to Skithiryx that he will not have access to. I'm just going to hang out here. Alright, 3 mana. Talisman of Dominance. Alright, well, he's still a long way off from Skithiryx mana, or from Thraximunder mana, and I'm definitely going to outrun his mana ramp with Liliana's ability. 2 more turns, I'm going to be able to ultimate. Charge. Right at the point where he hits 4, 5, or 6 permanents, depending on what happens. Alright, that's excellent. Imperial Seal gives me the ability to get a bunch of different things. I'm going to discard first, and this time I'm throwing away the Edict for sure. And he throws away Chainer's Edict too. Beautiful symmetry. Alright. I'm going to cast Imperial Seal. Lot of different choices here. But given that he's down to 3 cards and he still wants to develop his mana, I figure that he's going to have to throw away reactive cards, which means that he'll throw away, play a land and be done, and then possibly cast something, and next turn I can use Liliana one more time to make him discard down to 1 card. And unless he has the foresight to keep Counterspell, if he has one in hand at all, I should be able to resolve whatever I draw. And with that in mind, I'm just going to be a little bit greedy, and I'm going to go for the Skull. Let's see what he does. There's the land I expected. He's tapping mana to cast Buried Alive, which is really weird. It's like there's that other Grixis commander, the one that unearths creatures, that gives all your creatures unearth in the graveyard. And yeah, normally you'd see that played in conjunction with Buried Alive. I'm not sure why he's playing with that card right now. We can find out what he's got here. Diluvian Primordial, Hellkite Tyrant, and Shield Dread. Not even particularly good reanimation targets. None of those guys. I guess Shield Dread's not bad, but compared to something like Jin Gitaxias, certainly better things to reanimate. Down to 2 cards. Alright, charge. There's the Necro. I'm going to certainly discard first here. He throws away Delay. And now I figure, well, the coast just might be clear. It's probably worth it to go for it. In retrospect, I might have waited here a little bit, just given the fact that he can't develop his mana any further, and I'm going to ultimate him with Liliana next turn anyway, which means that if he does play another land, just to have something to do post-ultimate, he will not have any cards in hand after I make him discard, and I can cast the Necro unfettered. But I just didn't feel like he'd have a counterspell here, So I decided to just cast Necro. And I am heavily punished by Counterspell. On the bright side, both of our hands are empty, and I have a Lilliana of the Veil about to ultimate. And I can kill the Blood Crypt. That was premature, too. I think I should have waited on that, mainly because he couldn't get up to Thraximunder mana. He's still 1 mana short unless he top-decked Mana Crypt. And now he's got an even number of permanents, so that dilutes some of the effectiveness of Lilliana. And then he plays another land. Anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Now I look like a genius. I have to win the game at some point, though, beyond just harassing him with Lilliana of the Veil. But I'm definitely going to make him sack 3 permanents right now. Drop him down to just that. 2 blue. Alright. Still liking my position, especially because he can lightly top deck a bunch of junk now that he can't play, and I can just make him continuously discard it. But he draws a land, which I'm quite jealous of. I've not drawn a lot of lands this game, if any. Charging. Alright, finally a land. Excellent. I'm just 1 short now of being able to cast a dragon. So I'm actually going to just use Lilliana myself to start building counters again. I don't see any use for the Mindslaver in any sense of the game as the way it's going to unfold. So I feel like it's safe. I can just throw it away, given that I doubt I will be Mindslavering him this turn, or this game. Alright, come on, Sharala. Draw something that's reactive, please. Alright, that looks like something reactive. I'm going to charge it end of turn. Swamp, excellent. So we can play the Skithiryx. Here he comes, the big bad dragon. And now I can cause the discard automatically, which is awesome. And he throws away all his dust. Pretty incredible. Good job, Lilliana. I love when this effect is not symmetric, when they have to discard and you don't. It's so brutal. And it's just Disrupting Scepter for 0. Done again. Alright. So I made us both discard right here, which was actually fairly foolish, I think. It wouldn't have ultimately wound up mattering, but I should have attacked first, honestly, because I should have known my opponent would top deck Cyclonic Rift to not only bounce my dragon back to my hand, but this effect is still in the stack, and it just proceeds to bone me, just like that. I discard my Skithiryx back to the commander zone. But I do get another counter on it, and Lilliana is back to 4, and he's a long way off from getting Thraximunder mana. Mana Crypt, God, really? Top deck 2 mana, just like that. At least he doesn't have red right now. But now he's suddenly only 2 mana away from Thraximunder, and we could potentially get in trouble. Paying 4. Decree of Pain. That is painful to draw. I'm going to throw that away to get Lilliana up to 6. Or, sorry, up to 5. Alright, come on, man. Man, a swamp. Look at that. From 3 mana to 6 over 2 draw steps. If he draws 1 mountain here, I could be in a heap of trouble. Given the fact that he can play Thraximunder, he can attack, make me sack the Skithiryx if I have it out, which I certainly will have it out, and kill off Lilliana in 1 hit, which could really put me in a deep hole. So I suddenly have to just hope that he doesn't draw another land, and certainly not a red one. Toxic Deluge. Well, that's really good to draw, at least, given the fact that it does give me an out against the Thraximunder if he does draw it. It's not the worst or the best answer in the world, given that it'll kill both my dragon and my Planeswalker, but at the same time, it does prevent me from getting hit for 7 every turn by his guy. So I'm going to replay the Skithiryx and give it haste. Fly over for 4. Alright, come on, opponent, do not draw red. Draws. And concedes. Just like that. I feel like this was definitely a premature concession. Granted, he was going to go down to 8 poison on the next turn, but he can still just top deck a mountain and play his general, and suddenly he deals with both my threats at the same time. Maybe he thought that Lilliana was going to ultimate on the next turn, even though she's only got 5 counters. That may have been the reason why he scooped. But clearly a turn too early, and if he had rabbit hunted to the top of his deck and seen a mountain there, probably would have felt pretty bad about it. But I thought this was a cool game. It was a really neat example of just how insane this Planeswalker can be. I'm sure many of you have had experiences with Lilliana where you've kind of taken the game over with it. But for the ability for a 3-mana Planeswalker to have that much impact on the game is pretty profound. which kind of explains why Lilliana of the Veil is like a $100 card in real life and is definitely one of the best Planeswalkers ever made. Hope you guys enjoyed that game. I've got a couple more to record, and we'll see you soon.